Yo people, welcome back to another Cobra Kai video. Now first of all, thanks to everyone that's been watching and supporting the channel. You've recently all gotten the channel over 700 subscribers, so a massive thank you to everyone involved. Now for the Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 2 trailer, we all saw that moment where Miguel breaks down, he hugs Johnny. We know that this is going to be a very emotional season for Miguel, and the trailer showed us that, as most of his clips were more emotion based rather than fighting. However, most of what we saw was him getting angry or being supportive and really showing us a range of emotions and how important he is to the team. In this video, however, I'm going to explore what could have made him break down and cry. If you have any other theories that I haven't mentioned, feel free to put it down below in the comments. Also, let me know which one you think is the most realistic. Now, let's start with something unlikely, but I've seen comments on social media of people mentioning this, and it's the death of his grandma. Now, I personally don't think this would happen because then this show forces itself into a corner in terms of giving Miguel a similar storyline to Tori, where they have family members that have just died. Also, there's not really been any indication of the grandma being unwell, and it would seem kind of forced story-wise. It just seems like another reason to stress Miguel in the tournament. Now, one thing I can say is that this situation would definitely cause Miguel to cry, but I think it's very unlikely. The next idea is his mom is struggling to give birth or has gone through complications, and for obvious reasons Miguel is worried. Now the issue with this is that it kind of puts Johnny and Miguel in a situation where if they don't go and help Carmen and be by her side, it makes their characters kind of look bad regardless. So again, I don't think this is going to happen, but depending on how the complications go, it could be an extra stress factor for Miguel, who is already going to be dealing with a lot of stress. And personally, I prefer this over the grandma theory. The next theory is that one of the Miyagi-Dos, maybe Robbie, has ended up in hospital after a battering in the tournament. Maybe the person has suffered an injury similar to Miguel's injury in Season 2 in terms of severity. Personally, I don't think this is something Miguel would cry about if it's an injury, just like how Hawk didn't cry when Miguel got hurt. So for me, I don't think it's this exactly, but if we up the stakes and say, what if that knife that we keep seeing in the trailer and in the promo material was actually used on someone, maybe Robbie, maybe Sam or Hawk? Then I think this changes the game completely and it seems like a very possible option. I do think something bad is going to happen with that knife, so I would entertain this and this could be a very likely theory. Now, last but not least is one that I could see happen and is the one I'd prefer to happen, and it involves Miguel's dad, Hector. Maybe Hector is at the tournament because he's got some sort of allegiance to another dojo, or maybe he found out Miguel was his son because Miguel did leave his bag with Hector after all. So as soon as Hector saw Miguel on TV, he went straight to Barcelona. I reckon Hector has tried to speak with Miguel and he fears for his mom and his grandma now that Hector knows who Miguel is and he could probably find out where they live. Miguel will feel threatened to not make a wrong move obviously in that aspect. However, I think Hector will genuinely be rooting for Miguel and in some aspects he would be proud of Miguel. We saw how Hector is into his combat sport, so I don't really see why he tried to cause problems, especially for his son. I think where it all gets a bit complicated is that Miguel doesn't want to trust Hector, as he's seen what he's like. He is kind of shady at the end of the day, and I think the show may play on those emotions to keep us wondering if Hector is being genuine or if he's not. Also, Miguel will obviously side with his mom, which may force Hector to have to explain to Miguel why him and Carmen broke up. Maybe there's a secret little reason as to why and Carmen didn't want to tell Miguel, but regardless, all of this would just upset Miguel. While all of that drama is going on, obviously Miguel is going to be feeling a sense of loyalty to Johnny as he's been there for him when it mattered. But at the same time, I think he's going to feel a sort of loyalty to his biological father. You just have that bloodline, your own flesh and blood. But yeah, I do think Johnny and Hector would come face to face if this was to happen. But all in all, this just adds another layer of stress for Miguel to go through as he is in this tournament, and it will make him more on edge, more unsure with what he's doing. Does he believe Hector? Does he not? Does he just ignore him? What does he do? But overall, I could see this theory being a thing, and I prefer if the crying connects more to his dad, since that storyline kind of had a weird ending, so this would make it a more complete ending. But yeah, those are the main reasons. If any of you have any other theories, like I said, feel free to drop them down below in the comments. Thank you again for making it this far. Thank you for getting the channel over 700 subscribers. I'd really appreciate if you could hit the like button, keep subbing if you haven't already, and thank you for your time.